Hi, this is Tanya Rooney with Tribe Builders Podcast, and I am here today with somebody super fucking awesome. He's helped me out with quite a few things lately, and I'm so excited to get to have him share his story and have him share a lot of the things that are going on. I found this person in the craziest roundabout way. Like I had a deal last year, so in 2023 that I was trying to figure out. So I reached out to some people that I know in a different mastermind, and I'm like, hey, who do I ask for help on underwriting a motel? I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And thankfully, one of my friends that happens to be in the military, of course, he had like 3 people for me to reach out to, but he's like, try this guy first. So lo and behold, Blake became my friend. Forced friendship. I don't even care which way, but it's happening. and
All the way.
and now I get to spend time with him once or twice a week in his mastermind and all this awesome stuff. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to talk to him, or I mean, listen to him. It's Blake Dailey. How's it going, Blake?
It is going great. I'm so glad to be here. I know when you were launching this podcast, we had talked about it and sent somebody your way for just a stellar show, and I'm pumped to be another one.
Yeah, absolutely. So please tell my people what you are or what you do, what your company does, like that kind of stuff. Give us an overview.
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I said I'm an active duty Air Force guy and also doing real estate kind of on the side, or maybe the Air Force became my side thing after a time. I don't know. It kind of all blended together. But I am recently separated, so a free man doing the real estate business full time. So my business is hotel acquisition and management. So we buy and renovate and operate boutique hotels. And we've done the Panhandle of Florida, 3 there, South Lake Tahoe, now in the Smoky Mountains, and then a handful of short-term rental houses as well. So I started out with the residential side, doing burrs and flips, long-term rentals, and mostly short-term rentals, and then got into the commercial real estate side, syndicated an apartment complex. And I was like, you know what? I like this better. I like the commercial side. And then I took what I knew was the commercial and the short-term rentals and combined those and started looking at hotels. And it was good timing for it because this was, a couple of years ago when the hotel asset class was not doing so great. And I got in at a really good time for it when we could get prices, or when prices were good enough that we could get in, as being a smaller investor getting into the space, and really got to cut my teeth by doing, and didn't know how to run hotels, didn't know how to manage hundreds or thousands of guests over, on a monthly basis. Figured it out along the way. And now we're working on a big 130 unit hotel in the Smokies and loving it. And also kicking myself sometimes at the same time, but it's fun.
That's so crazy and amazing to hear, like how you've jumped from place to place and really like made it run. I feel like I've watched you run already. Just in the short tenure we've been friends for like almost a year has been really crazy to watch. So it's really fun. But
it's
can
also
you tell
crazy
me,
it's been a year, like when you're first working on that deal, doesn't that seem like 2 months ago? Like I feel like we've both just had our heads down and grinding, working away, making good progress. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is really weird to say that. I didn't like, as soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, whoa, I've known you for a year. Wow. It feels like, I mean, some of the way that I talk with you and some of the stuff that you know about me, you know more about me than some of my close friends at this point, because you get to see the ugly side of, oh my God, what's going to happen to this deal, or what's going to happen to this spot of the process. And, like personally, when I'm frustrated, or like I'm getting into whatever piece of a process of something new, like sometimes it's really uncomfortable for me, and the way I react can be a little intense. And I feel like you've gotten to deal with a lot of that. So it's funny to know that, we've only known each other for a year, but
and isn't it funny how like
vulnerable.
all of like the personal side of business and all of the, the context of, what you've done in the past, what you're going on in your personal life, all this stuff comes into these business decisions that we're making. So like, I feel like the business friends, the business buddies, the masterminds I'm part of, just the groups that I'm part of, like those people almost or really do know me better, and at least what I'm going through now, and like the process and the phase that I'm in, know me better now, which sounds like you're saying the same thing, is like, because we're talking about all the things that are leading up to the decisions. Like I'm like, I got a baby on the way, and there's a conference coming up, and I've got this big hotel renovation, and we just hired some new people, and like, oh my gosh, all this stuff's going on. And it's like, man, all that is what goes into making these decisions, which is like just the craziness of entrepreneurship. So yeah, absolutely. It takes, it takes knowing what's behind the curtain to help guide those
Well, it's true. And actually, like I know you're in a phase in your life where there's weddings because because I do know you enough that you're going to weddings, I swear, every month. And I remember that phase of my life, which just means you're like in your 20s and 30s. But can you imagine like some of the stuff that you have problems with? Like I've seen a lot of it. You know, you're waiting for your new loan of like over $1 million or $2 million loan to come through on this new motel deal or hotel deal. And can you imagine going to your friends, so your high school buddies that you're going to all their weddings, or maybe these are your military buddies, but can you
Mhm.
imagine what their reaction would be if you said, yeah, I just hired somebody, you know, and I'm paying them $130,000 a year? Like, what kinds of reactions would you get from them?
Yeah. And like the same week that we're closing a $9.55 million loan and bringing on new, like, close to six-figure salaries or multiple at the same time. It's like, dude, there's another 20K going out every single month. And it's like on the military side, when you're just focused on your job, like I have a lot of friends in the military that aren't in business. And I really value those relationships too, because it's almost like a reprieve from, hey, we don't have to
Yeah.
just talk about business. We can just talk about life and what's going on in our with our families and stuff like that. So I like having friends from different backgrounds in these different phases of life. But yeah, like bringing that up would be like, oh shit. And they all call me Dales. Like my name is Dales from back in college, football nickname, and just all the people I hung out with. I was like, damn, Dales, what's going on?
And you, well, I just even brought that up, like just thinking about that. Like, I mean, my friends from back home, I still love them. I love getting, you're right. It's a nice little reprieve from business stuff, but those people aren't necessarily a part of your type five anymore, because how on earth do you go to somebody who's got a job that makes $40,000 a year and tell them your problems about trying to close a $10 million loan? Like, you can't, they have no idea what you're going through. Like, they can't relate to you. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think some of the people in my circle that aren't doing stuff in business are still ride or dies. And like the good thing
of
I think
course.
that comes from relationships like that is they know you before the weight of business, and like they know you outside of a professional capacity. So they know like the the kid cuddling up in the blanket who's scared of the dark, and can give advice that's a little bit different. And I feel like a lot about what we talk about in those circles is relationship stuff, how to make our lives and our relationships with our spouses better. And also like it's like, dude, I know you're busy, and they know what's going on, so it's like, I know you're doing all this stuff. Let's just have a weekend, where's the boys weekend, and just like decompress, because you got to go hit it back on Monday or whatever, like spend some time
Yeah.
with the boys. So that's nice. And I think it's good to have that little break, because you've got to grind. Like in the position that we're in, buying hotels, managing hotels, we've got other projects that are going to, like, the work doesn't stop, and there's always going to be projects that need to get done. There's always mouths to feed, so to speak. But I don't think you can just grind through consistently. You got to take the time to decompress a little bit. And I think for me that looks like 12 hours on a Sunday where I'm not working. But it's like, I don't feel right if I don't have that time to just like hang out with Nicole or go to church or whatever it is that we might be doing, to just like not think about work. And then the other 6.5 days out of the week can be the grind, but there's got to be something to kind of separate it.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love that you know that you need you need the break. Like I think a lot of people just work through it, and I think one of my tactics is I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I used to do this all the time, even in my corporate job. I'm just like, well, you know, I'm going to work a really, really lot these 2 months. And then after that, I'm going to have a break. So it's going to be fine. And, you know, like it's, again, light at the end of the tunnel. And it sounds like Sundays are your light at the end of the tunnel, at least for a small
Usually.
bit.
Usually, yeah. It's like a little break from in between weeks, because when
Hmm.
you're closing a deal, it's like that's a moment for celebration. But I feel like in entrepreneurship, you don't really get a chance to celebrate the wins. So
Hmm.
there's no big, hey, we closed the deal, we're gonna have a party this week because of it. Or we just closed this big $9.5 million refinance 2 weeks ago, and just rolled right into more work, because we flew in my director of operations, my asset manager, my project manager, had the contractors on site, stuff was going on. So it's like there was no celebration there. It was like, all right, now the work starts and we
Hmm.
can actually start our renovation. And I feel like that's how it goes a lot of the time. But you've got to
Hmm.
have these moments where you can reflect. And I think as entrepreneurs, we too often like want to not celebrate our wins, but I feel like you've got to give yourself a little bit of love, almost, like not in a way that like strokes your ego, or like, I'm the best thing ever. But it's like, all right, you did something cool here. Like, acknowledge it. You met a goal. You've been working on this thing for however long, 3, 4, 5 months, like whatever the case is. It's like, cool, we got there, accept it. But then, because it is entrepreneurship, we keep going. The growth brings more problems, right? Another bottleneck that you got to solve. You have to keep going through it. So I think a lot of people want the wins in entrepreneurship, but don't want to go through the work to get there. Or once they get to that spot, they like let off the gas, and then stuff starts piling on. They're like, oh, this thing's not for me. It's like, dude, that's where you got to push through to get through the thing. And yeah, it's just on the other edge on the other side of a little bit more work.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with all of that. And so can you tell me, how do you have a few different communities I feel like you're part of. Like, the whole reason that I met you was because of your military community. I'm not part of the military community, but I'm plugged into a couple people who are plugged into said community. Can you tell me, like, what kinds of communities are surrounding you if you've got a couple, and then what it looks like for them to support you? Like, how do they encourage you? Are they involved in some of your decision making, when you're tripped up about something, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I've got a few kind of staple communities. One is the military community, and more so like the military investing in entrepreneurship community, like guys that are invested in real estate. They run small businesses. Like Adam Whitney's a friend of ours that I think originally connected us. He's running a couple different businesses. There's Dave Prey, who's on this podcast, another military guy, runs the whole military community. And it kind of becomes this center of, there's a common background here. And I think that's like the important thing of a community or of a tribe. There's got to be some kind of linking factor for you. And the military is an easy one, or it could be, where whatever, corporate professionals that, make 6 figures plus, but also invest in real estate. So like, that's somebody you can identify with because you're in that boat. You've gone through the same things, you've worked your way up the career ladder, and, you reach this point and you're doing something else on the side. So from the beginning, when I started investing in real estate, I think the military does a pretty good job just in general of connecting younger service members with, further on in their career service members, to kind of give that advice, be mentors, help develop the force, so to speak. So there's like, I think in the investing community that I'm a part of, because we all have that background, because we all have that understanding, we've all been through basic training, say what you want about the Marines basic training versus the Air Force basic training, but mine was still hard, I promise. But we go through this similar thing, right? And that kind of links us. So that's a big fact, or a big point of finding the community with who you can resonate with. And I think that's where really strong tribes come from, is because you have shared experiences, common struggles, similar life situations, backgrounds, whatever it may be, but also individual experience within that. So I think that's where you get the like a dynamic tribe that's also like unified and can go through stuff together. And then I have another one that's not, there's one other military guy in it, but it's just 4 guys. We meet every week, just about. We probably do 9 out of 10, or like maybe 10 out of 11. Like every Tuesday night we meet. So tonight we have a meeting, and we talk for an hour. Each one of us like take 15 or 20 minutes, talk what we're going through that week. And sometimes it's a lot of business stuff. Sometimes it's a lot of personal stuff, and we help each other through whatever struggles we're going through. We share our wins, we share our gratitudes, we share what we're working on that week and how we can help each other. And we got a group text too. So it's, like motivation coming through. It's like, hey, go grind today, guys. Or it's sharing, it's sharing a cool win that we had, or it's just reaching out when you need help. Like, dude, I'm super stressed this week. Like, I got this and this going on. Like, can one of you guys jump on a call to just, let me vent for a little bit? And I think that's a really cool fact too, is like, we're all like, our link is that we, at the time we met, we were all like, young guys going through, and like young is various. We're all like 22 to 32 or 33 at the time. It's been like 4 years that we've been doing this. So we're all doing similar things in real estate, but all different strategies. We've got me in hotels and short-term rentals. We've got another guy in short-term rentals and renovations. We've got a guy in residential and commercial, and we've got a guy in commercial multifamily. So we have a big breadth of experience with all the things that we go through. We're at different levels. And when we got into it, I think we're all at like 8 or 900,000 in net worth, or maybe even less. Maybe at the time when I jumped in, I was like the youngest one. I still am the youngest one. These guys are all like 33 to 439 or 40 maybe. So yeah, here comes the young jokes, the young guy here. So like that's like
Yes.
my kind of friends that I resonate better that are like 5 to 10 years older than me, because they're going through like a similar phase in life that I feel like I'm going through now of just what we have going on, right? Like I'm already married, I'm not out chasing tail, I'm doing my thing, trying to grow the business and like work on having a good relationship with my wife and have kids. They're doing the same thing at 33 to 39. So
Mhm.
we have this really good thing there. And then on my mastermind side that you're part of, Josh and Deanna are in, Felipe, like Mike, all these people, I wanted to create something similar there where we have, similar backgrounds in, I mean, it's the boutique hotel mastermind. So like short-term rentals is a big one. But it also like expands to design and to like business ownership and that kind of stuff, really on a bigger scale. And it's not the tribe just for like buying your first or next short-term rental. It's not about how to get arbitrage units or co-hosts or whatever. Like it's about buying hotels. So I wanted to link the group to a common goal and get like similar experience and background with people who have already, demonstrated success in whatever they're doing, buying businesses, building businesses, doing short-term rental and hotel designs, buying and managing short-term rentals. So like everybody comes in at this already elevated level of understanding, and we can talk high level. We've got a different level of problems than somebody trying to buy their first short-term rental to, eventually get out of their job. Now it's like, hey, I've already got a few short-term rentals. How do I buy this one hotel and then get out of my job, right? Because then I'll have enough money to not even worry about it. And it's like, where can I go like to create a community or go join a community where I can really be a part of something where people know and can resonate what I'm going through, and also have people at different steps of they've already been through this struggle, so they're going to help me get through it faster. And that's why I like having these older friends, because they've already been through a little bit more life, more breakups, more broken hearts, more whatever, more deals collectively. So it's like, how do you join this group where you can be that person for somebody else, right? Or this group of people, but also have those people. So you got just this chain of like how to get people up 2 steps, how to jump yourself up 2 steps. And I think that's where these communities get really cool. And I'm a part of them and now running one. And it's cool to see.
Yeah, I love that. And I didn't know you had a core 4, by the way. Like your,
Core
you might
4.
call that
Yep.
your core
Yep.
4, core 4.
Ride or die is 4
Um,
years strong,
I
man.
Yeah, and I love that, because I think a lot of people don't, like, I talk about mine's called the grade 8, and it is fantastic, but people don't talk about these random little groups they have, so they don't even know that they could have it. And it's so fun that you have people that you literally could rely on over and over again, because business isn't meant, like, I know the solopreneurship is hard. Like, it is tough to do some of this shit by yourself, and you can
Yeah.
go.
And it gets
I think you
super
were just talking.
lonely if you don't have people to
Yeah,
talk to.
it doesn't actually. I think you talked about this yesterday on one of our meetings. It was about like you can go further faster by like having people around you. Like I know that you preached it yesterday. It was like,
Yeah.
why would you do this alone when you can go further, faster, harder
Yeah.
when you have,
Yeah, like
people
the
around
whole
you.
thing, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But honestly, by getting yourself around the right people, like finding your tribe, you go further and faster. Like you get to your goal faster, and you like blow through the glass ceiling that you just placed on yourself, because now you've seen somebody do it. And you're like, oh shit, I can easily go
Yeah,
do
I can
that.
do that.
They're laying out the
Yeah.
framework of how to go do it. So it's like, yeah, like surrounding yourself with the right people, upgrading your network a little bit, and just like, it's so true. Like the people that you spend the most time around, you're going to like be the average of those people. So why would you want to surround yourself with low quality people? And I hear all the time, like the pushback is like, oh, I don't want to like lose my friends, or I don't want to, you know, isolate myself from my family or whatever that is. But you don't have to do that. Like you don't have to
Mhm.
push them up. I think in some cases you do, obviously, like, you're like, this person is they're a bad influence. I got to get away from them. They're pulling me down, like not
Mhm.
good for me. But like my buddies that I played football with, that, we've known each other since we were young or grown up or whatever, like that, those relationships don't have to go away. It's just, I'm going to spend more time talking about like the stuff I'm going through with people that are doing it, and, people that are further along, so I can get the tips to get there faster. Like that's the way I think about it.
Well, and I feel like, at least with me, my friend groups like move to the front burner, they move to the back burner, like of a stove. And and they're kind of all going around because I have friends right now that have kids that are little and friends that have kids that are in teens, and I have no kids. So those, like the people with teen kids, I can see a little bit more if they're not heavy sport kids because they're, but when they're little, when they have little kids, like I know I'm not going to see them for a few, and it's not a big deal. But I think the same goes with business stuff. Is like I have so many business friends because I've been in flipping, I've been in commercial real estate, I'm doing short-term rentals, and then I'm obviously doing hotels right now. Well, right now is the season of hotels. So I'm talking to hotel people literally every day, and like different ones, like people from your group and people from like a group that I've already started making because I need the help. So it
Mhm.
doesn't mean, you're right, it doesn't mean that you stop completely. It's just those friends are more for a reprieve, and these friends are like to build you up in this new thing that you need to learn a lot about.
Yeah.
And
That's a
I
good
think,
analogy because kids or like businesses are very much like kids. Like if you've got a newer business that's not further along yet, like you are doing like wearing all the hats, that's like the infant or the toddler. Like you can't take your eyes
mhm.
and your attention off of it because your toddler's going to fall down the stairs or something. Your business will do the same thing. So you really got to like focus on and get it through that phase. And then, obviously when it's a younger kid, you can leave it with the babysitter. And when they're a teen, it's like off and walking on its own. So like your business goes through the same phase. And it's like, there's such a critical point when you're building, when you're starting out the business in the first few years, when you're really trying to gain traction, that if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your goals and your dreams, you have to put everything else off. And I think there's like
Mhm.
very few exceptions. Like I love the analogy from the one thing about like you're juggling balls, and some balls are glass and some balls are rubber. Like my relationship with Nicole, like our marriage is a glass ball. Like I don't want to drop that. I'm not gonna put her off. I hope she'd say the same thing, but she probably says I don't talk to her enough still. But she loves talking. But and then there's other things that are like rubber balls, right? It's those older friend groups, or sometimes it can be the business too. It's like I got to put this down for a minute to focus on the glass ball, so don't drop this. Like your kids are another example, like your important relationships. But a lot of times in the beginning, your business, your fledgling business, is the glass ball, and you can't drop that, right? You can't miss invoices that aren't coming in. You can't let a bad review at your hotel stain the reputation and send you down a spiral. You have to really focus on fixing the systems and getting the right people in so that you can juggle the other things that you have going on, like your relationships, um, uh, like your kids, whatever it is, whatever like your life situation is. But you have to understand I don't really believe in balance, I think is what this is coming to. I think you got to focus on the shit that's the most important when the
Mhm.
stuff needs the focus. And that means you got to put a lot of other stuff off. Like you're not going to have, I mean, very rarely are you going to have perfect relationships, perfect fitness, perfect, mental health, perfect business running, like all this stuff. Like,
Mhm.
like this week, I wanted to go work out 3 times a week. I'm going to be lucky to hit like 1 or 2 just because I know there's things I have coming up this week.
Mhm.
But I'm going to go work out hard for those, 1 or 2 times. It's not like I'm not going to get fat this week or get out of shape, but it's not like the standard that I want. But I
Mhm.
know that like tonight we're going to have date night, me and Nicole, and that we're going to like sit and talk about stuff and all that kind of, the relationship where we need help this week. Like that's not something I'm going to let go down. So like there's those
Yeah.
few things the glass balls that you have to, focus on and not drop. But the other stuff you can put off. And like entrepreneurship isn't about balance. Like that comes later. To build it, you have to be very,
Yes.
very unbalanced and focused like a freaking maniac. And people wonder like, oh, he's changed or she's changed. And, he's
Yeah.
different now. You can't even connect with him. Like so many
Yeah. He
times
has
my mom's
goals.
like, do you ignore my calls? I'm like, no, you just always call me when I'm in a meeting. Like, sorry, mom, I love you, but I'm going through a phase.
Well, actually, what I thought of as you were talking is seasonality, which is very, very like this is a concept that we both understand because in short-term rentals and in hotels,
Yep.
seasonality is a thing. Like certain, I know some hotels who like their market has 7 different seasons. Like they have fall, winter, spring, and summer, but then they might have hunting opener, and then they might have fishing opener. And like literally there's these things called seasonality in our businesses. And it means like we're making a lot more money in some spots, and we can, we make a lot more hay in certain spots. And I think the same thing with life. Like I know my friends with little kids, this is a season of life that I am not going to see them. And I am okay with that, because I know they're going to come back around when their kids start hitting, early teens, because their early teens don't want to hang out with them anymore. So they'll come hang out with me.
I'll see you in 12 years when my kid goes to high school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it doesn't mean you cut people out, but there's a season, like, your season right now, like you just got your USDA loan approved and funded. So now you actually have a season where you get to start construction, and you have to do so many things, and you're running, like, you're sprinting right now, but soon you're going to be in a season where it's like, oh, cool. Like, baby's going to come, and you're just going to like get to hang out with your babe for a little while. And then it's going to turn into
you
something
change
else.
as your business grows, as you scale it, you change, and you wouldn't want to stay the same. Like, you don't want to stay in the same position. So of course your environment, your mentality, how you approach relationships, the people you hang out with, all that stuff will change. If you try pushing back against that, you're going to keep yourself in the same spot. So you have this goal of where you want to go, but you have this apprehension of becoming the person you need to be to get there. Like, you need to get that out of your head, because to get there, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to get better skill sets. You're going to have to evolve and change your mindset. Your relationship with money is going to have to evolve. Like, you have to become a better version of yourself to be that better thing,
better version
that
of
you're
yourself.
like after. Yeah. So like, I see people getting their own way all the time, and they get fearful of the change. And it's like, dude, the change is necessary.
I love this. And I just want to tell people, like, I'm in a mastermind with Blake, which that he runs. And so that means I get to talk to him like twice a week at a minimum. And when we sit on calls, and when you actually, I mean, you can already hear this in the Blake's tone, is like, you hang out with a person like Blake, you're going to feel left out. So you're either going to fall off his radar, or you're going to fucking do more things.
Get your
Like,
ass
you're
in
like,
gear.
you have no, like, I mean, Blake, I have no idea if you have this, but whenever people see me, like, from back home, or just like random people that aren't part of my like everyday life, they see me, they're just like, wow, you inspired me to do this, like, fill in the blank, like, start my own little side business of redoing furniture. I get stuff like that all the time. And I'm just like, if you hang out with somebody that does shit like that all the time, you will inevitably do those things. It doesn't mean you need to start chasing huge goals that maybe you're not ready for, but you will change by the people that you're hanging out with, because it's inevitable. Like, if people keep talking about all these things, you're just like, well, I kind of feel left out, so I'm gonna go and do cool fucking things too. Like,
it's very hard to like hang around successful people and not become successful yourself. Like, that core four, that group of guys I was telling you about, me and the other three guys, we were all in like the 400, 500, 600,000 range of net worth. We all grew to be millionaires together. And I'm not saying that's like, hey, there's $1 million in our bank account and we're going off to Vegas every single weekend and putting it all on black. But we've built assets. We've continued to push each other. Like they know the struggle that I went with closing Tremont, the 130 unit hotel in the Smokies. I worked on that deal for 7 months. We were under contract for 7 months until it closed. I've never been under contract so long in my life, and I've never gone through so many problems. And I was like, dude, this deal's probably dead. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. And it was like, these discussions that we're having, it's like, do this one more thing. If you can get that, like, you can push through. And then we had $200K hard that was on the line of me and Nicole's money that was non-refundable, that if we didn't close, we didn't get that back.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, we're past the point of no return. And they're like, are you just going to give up and leave 200 grand out there? So it's like those conversations happening for years, all of our net worth increased by probably at least $1 million each guy by this point. So it's like, if you get around the people that have the right mindset, that are focused on growth, then you are going to grow and improve yourself. And the cool thing about that group is we're also focused on fitness. We take adventure trips. We did a big hike into the Arizona desert, into this like little canyon oasis, and just journaled and talked for like 3 or 4 days. Like, all of us have been in and out of significant relationships, had kids. Like, we're trying to focus on like the whole life version of ourselves too, not just growing at the expense of, Scrooge McDuck, lose your soul kind of thing. It's like, how do we become better men together? And if like you get around people, that you're going to see the same thing, right? If you hang out with a group of like hoteliers that are buying boutique hotels, chances are you're probably going to buy a freaking boutique hotel, because you're going to learn the shit. You're just going to absorb the context of how to make the decisions, how to underwrite the deals, how to go through the due diligence, how to bring in the investors, how to structure your deal, all this stuff that you need to be successful in like a big commercial real estate asset class. You learn that by being around the people doing it. Like you see it to be done, and then you're like, okay, they just closed 20 units. They just closed, 15 units over here. Now we got another 8 unit going on. It's like, dude, I got this. So it's like your 18 unit, we've already, I've already been through 4 or 5 of those. We've got multiple of those happening in the deal right now. So it's like, as you progress with this deal through the different stages, you're going to have people along it that like you can teach and learn yourself through teaching somebody else it, and have that discussion of like, it's like, oh, solidify that thought in your head. But then you're also going to be exposed to people with, 2, 3, 6 deals, and learn how to like optimize your processes to make more money. And that's why masterminds are so cool. Like if you want to go flip houses, go get in a flipping mastermind. If you want to get in short-term rentals, go get in a short-term rental mastermind. If you want to get like just on a personal growth, like get your mindset better, like you're going through whatever it might be in your life, and you're like, I just don't feel right. Like I need to get back to, prime Blake or prime Tanya. Like go get in a group that is all about like personal growth and development, because the rising tide will lift all boats.
Yeah, this is all like, I love talking to people like you. And it's funny, it's because I like attract the same people that I like, things that resonate with me. Because I listen to you talking, I'm like, yes, this is the reason masterminds are so incredible. Like you chase people, you get to like something that takes somebody 10 years. If they're in that mastermind, oh my God, you have 10 years of experience under your belt now that you just have to ask some questions and they'll give you that info. And now something that took them 10 years is going to take you 5. And the person that you're going to lift up, it's only going to take them 2.5 or 3. And like, that's the cool part about joining people that are doing this.
Masterminds is like paying for new friends. Like I'm about to
I
drop
pay for friends
another
all the
like
time.
20 grand for masterminds before the end of the year. I just did earlier this week. And I literally see those as like paying to go make new friends.
Yeah.
Like, cause I want to be in the room with people who I know are further ahead than me. And I'm fine with being, on the low end. Like if I'm the smallest dude in the room, that's like my dream. Cause then everybody I ask questions to, everybody I talk to, like any relationship I make, they're going to be able to lift me up. And then when you get in this group, there's something really cool to be said about like when you teach people stuff, you learn it better yourself. So that's why it's good to get in a mix of like, different, different backgrounds, different niches, different levels, stuff like that. With, I really like having like a threshold. Like if you've crossed $1 million, if you've done that in your business, like you already gone through a lot, you've learned a lot of lessons, and now are ready to get to, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And, people at 4 million can help the people at 1 million. People at 1 million or, 1 million can help people get there. So that's such a cool thing, man, is like you guys get better together. And it's paying to make friends.
Yeah, I tell people all the time that I pay for my friends, because I do. Like I'll join a Facebook, or I mean not a Facebook group. I'll join a mastermind just so I can go hang out with people. And then I stay in masterminds because I make friends, and I'm like, well, my friends are all going to be there. Like I need to stay in this group so I can see my friends.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love
That's
that.
adulting. That's what that is.
Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, tell me, you are like, you're a go-getter, and you seem to know when you want to chase things and all of this stuff. But this was a thing I actually talked to you about last week in our real lives, Blake. I had said, oh my God, I can't imagine, like, you're kind of on a pedestal for me because you are a go-getter. You talk very positively. Like I've seen some of that crap that you've talked about, that those 7 months of trying to buy and just like kind of getting knocked down. But every time I talk to you, you're just like, no, I'm going to fucking close it. And every time. But does someone like you have self-limiting beliefs? Because it kind of feels like, like hearing from you, I'm just like, does anything get this fucking guy down? Does he have anything that limits his brain? Or does he just like, is he just an anomaly? Please talk about that. Tell me that you're a real human
I feel like
being.
internally I probably sweat it way more.
Yeah.
I think for me, like humor is probably a coping mechanism. So when I'm like joking about my struggles, like I'm really like, fuck. That's the sound inside, is like, oh my God, dude, today sucked. But like, humor gets me through it. So I love laughing. Sometimes I just like watching YouTube videos to laugh, like Key and Peele, some skits. But no, I think it's just a one thing that Tony Robbins, that I've heard Tony Robbins say that I really, really like, is feeling the emotion and just letting it take you over. And then once you like get the full intensity of it, just pushing it back off. Like it's done. You felt it. It's there. Like acknowledge the stress, acknowledge the happiness, acknowledge the anger. Like stress kind of makes me mad sometimes. So like, oh, fucking drop kick that dude in the chest. But I move on and, put a smile, make a joke, move on. Like that's the way I think in my head. And then I'm also very self-critical. So like my self-talk, I think a lot of the times is very football playerish. Like it's like, come on, you effing sissy or whatever. I'm dropping too many F-bombs on here. I got to pull them back.
Oh, you can totally do that.
But
It's
like,
my people.
yeah, like my self-talk is like slapping myself in shape. Like, especially on like a long day when it gets past dinner, like, Nicole wants to talk, hang out, watch Netflix. Like I would love to. That'd be great to just sit on the couch and like relax. But I'm like, get fucking back up in your office and work, dude. Like you didn't earn the chance to just sit and chill
Oh,
tonight. Like you got more to do. So I think that comes out a lot. But whenever you're dealt with stress or you're dealt with these big heavy decisions, you've got you're hiring a new employee, but you've already got, you might only have a 2-month runway to like have that employee make more revenue to keep them on. So you're like, oh man, this is a big risk. Do I tell anybody that? That's not my current situation, by the way, but I've been there, like hiring the first EA or hiring, the first property managers when our properties were just launching and like not earning revenue yet. Like that's stressful stuff. And then you've got investors in your deal and all this kind of stuff. So when that stress comes on, for me, it's like just taking it on. Like what's the worst thing that could happen in this scenario? And a lot of times I'll just picture it and just breathe through it. Like I'm literally like a breath person, like take deep breaths and like get through it. And then it's like, I know what the worst outcome is, but how I get through that is just working my ass off and knowing the risk factors and how to mitigate them. Like if we need to make more money and you just hire this person, there's your answer. Go fucking work your ass off to get more money. Like, you need another client, you need another sale, you need, to bring somebody on as a management client because you're, doing co-hosting or whatever that is, or you need to do, you need to find a new deal by the end of the quarter. Start looking at freaking deals. Don't sit on your ass and just like hope that stuff gets better. Like you are the only one that has the power to like improve the circumstance. So I think what starts as a like feeling of helplessness or overwhelm comes back to a realm of like total control. And then once I realized that, I'm like, dude, there's no other person I'd rather like this be in their hands than mine, because I know I'll work until it's freaking done. And then like that brings peace. And I'm like, all right, that's what we got to do. We just got to work our ass off.
That's awesome. I like I've seen your mind work a couple of times, and you actually talk about some of this. So it's interesting for you to put it into some of the words, because you are like, you're definitely one of the hardest workers I know. I go around people like you and I'm like, damn, I'm lazy. And then other people are around me and they're like, geez, I'm lazy. I'm like, nobody's actually lazy. It's just the decisions you make and what to do with your damn time.
And I don't know why, but it's kind of like a badge of honor, probably the athlete in me. But like when I see, somebody on Instagram or whatever, like taking a big luxurious vacation, I'm just like, cool. They got their foot off the gas. You know what I'm doing? I'm in my office freaking working. Like I'm going to go have a meeting with a seller while they're in Ibiza or whatever. And I'm going to go lock down another deal, or I'm going to negotiate something that's going to benefit me somehow. So it's like this badge of honor of like being the hardest worker in the room. It's not, like I literally want to be that, because I know that over a long period of time, somebody else might get a bigger win, or might have a better run of luck, or be in the right situation at the right time, or have the right business model or whatever. But I'm like, are they going to be around in 10 years? Because if not, I'll still be here working, and like I'll catch up over time. And I'm fine with a longer time horizon, because I just think about like my life now, like my somewhat commitment to like good sleep and fitness. Like I'm going to have probably a pretty good long life. Like I'm good. I'm cool with being like getting to my goal at 40 instead of like 35, right? Like over the next 10, 15, whatever years. And it's like, if I could still live a super full life, it doesn't have to be right now. And you just got to know that like your goals might happen, they might take longer than you'd hope that they would, but I think you'd really surprise yourself with the commitment to consistent action, because then you just start knocking down like these barriers. You start knocking down these wins. That builds momentum. You get better. You get more experience. Your network grows. You get more availability of capital and deals and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, oh shit, like all of a sudden you're at like your goal. And then you reset.
I don't know how anybody keeps up with you. Oh my God. It's so hilarious to listen to this. Cause like I said, you and Adam are literally two of the hardest workers that I know. And I just assume that it must be military people
I
because you guys
automatically
seem
think when you said that,
to
like,
just work.
Adam's got 2 kids. I'm outworking him every day. He's got a toe down.
Dude, no, that guy works really friggin' hard. Oh
No, he
my
definitely
word.
does. I love Adam. He
Yeah.
grinds. He does a lot. He grinds.
You guys do grind. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like I say kudos to how hard you work for what you want, but it seems like you really know how you want to spend your days, who you want to spend them with, what you want to show your future kiddo that's on the way. Like this is the kind of life I want to build for them, and you have taken life into your own damn hands like every single chance you've gotten to say like this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm building, and you just go. It's like your little energizer bunny.
Mhm. And I
It's
think like the
awesome.
important part on that for people listening is surprise is I don't have everything figured out. Like a lot of the times I
Mhm.
just know what I need to work towards and like I don't have all the answers. And it's like all I know that is if I take action towards the goal, I'll
Mhm.
start knocking out the wins that get me there. So I think a lot of time, and you probably see this all the time, that everybody wants like the path completely laid out
Ugh,
or
wouldn't that
know
be fucking nice?
exactly how to get there. It's like, dude, that's not how life works. That's
Uh,
not how like running a business works. You've just
mm-mm.
got to have like, for me, it's enough to know where I want to go. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Now I'm just in action mode. Now I'm just like knocking down the
Yeah.
thing. And it's not a straight up and to the right. It's like, oh
No, it's
shit, there's some
chaos. It's
failures.
complete.
That's a learning lesson. And then you keep going.
Yeah, it's how you deal with chaos. Because truly, I mean, running a business, I mean,
Just
it's not
organized
chaos in the
chaos is
same
all
way.
it is.
Like
Yeah.
it really is. Like you don't ever know when all of a sudden you're gonna find out your fucking septic system is way way too small and it's really antiquated.
Yeah.
You don't know when all of a sudden a dishwasher is going to break, or you don't know when your cleaner is going. It actually stole $20,000 from you, as well as decided to quit like last minute.
All right,
Like this
Tanya, you
stuff
don't
is
have to air
100.
out all my problems here.
Man, if that
Like
cleaner
some
thing
version of
happened,
all those things has happened.
well, yeah, and I don't know any business owner that doesn't have a crazy version of all of this stuff. Like these
Yep.
are really things that have happened to you, happened to my friends, happened to me.
Yeah.
Like this stuff is all like real, but it's chaos. But it's how I think the best entrepreneurs, they're good at problem solving. They're good at knowing like they have to stay relatively calm and figure it out. Like we just all we do is solve problems all fucking day. That's it. Like it's our problems, it's our spouse's problems, it's our cleaner's problems, it's the people that we work with, and then it's just us training them on how to solve their own problems. Like so, we're teaching and coaching them,
Yeah.
and this is how you could solve this the
Yeah.
way that I would.
Entrepreneurship is all about solving problems and synthesizing decisions out of very limited or like fragmented information. That's what it is. It's like
Ah, yes.
you have to take all this stuff from out of nowhere and put it into a decision that makes sense not just for yourself, but for your team and the ones who are going to go implement it. And then you just got to lead through that with uncertainty, but look like you've got all the answers. And I think that's a lot of times we
Yeah.
see like the Instagram culture of, hey, here's what entrepreneurship looks like, and this is what running a business looks like. This is how much we netted last month. It's like, dude, that is not how running a business goes. Because I know, me and you
No.
both know, like the people with, big followings. I really try not to be this myself because I do post on Instagram a lot and really give the look behind it of like how you do the thing or what are the
Mhm.
things that lead into the success. But dude, there's a lot of failures along the way, a lot
Well,
of
and
cash flow constraints, a lot of bad decisions that you've got to dig out of a hole.
how on earth could you make a video of doing like some of the stuff that we go through, like for real, like every single day? One time I
Yeah.
posted a
It's
video,
this.
I
It's
had a
long
crazy
form.
day.
It's an
Yeah.
hour of just venting.
And it's just like, I mean, I made a video one time that I literally just had, it was a very, very busy day. And they're not all like that, but I did 50 fucking things that day. And some of them were little and some of them were big. And it was just like naming all of them, you're just like it's almost like, why would we even do that to ourselves? Why would we recognize we probably stopped doing all the things if we realized how much fucking stuff we had to do every single day? But
Yep.
thankfully there's seasons, there's seasonality to all of this. Like you're in a crazy season right now because you just started construction on Tremont and the renovations. Well, you just started, you started another big round of it. And like it's just like there's seasons. Like eventually you're gonna be okay, now we're just worried about operations. Now we're okay, now we just need to get folks in and like stuff like that. So I think it's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So wrapping up, because we're on the hour, tell me, what are you looking for right now? Do you need any help with anything? Are you looking for anybody?
Whew, man, just a person to get all the stuff out of my head. So we're talking about before this about looking for a new executive assistant, like an EA, went down that path and really starting to like think about all the things that I do, right? Like the mastermind, the conference, the real estate business, the operations business. So it's sort of like really these four lines of effort that all converge at point me. And I really am kind of like looking for somebody to help sort all that out. So if anybody out there knows a great EA, please connect them with me. And then just of course, as always, like deals and opportunities. So boutique hotels, like I've kind of put myself out there as the guy for those. So if you have a deal and want to partner on it, or want to wholesale it, or just want to pass along a lead to a friend, I'm your
Mhm.
guy.
That's super awesome. I love that. And where can people find you specifically? Like, what's your Instagram or?
Probably Instagram is the best way, and I'm at Blake J Dailey on there, and it's EY Daily with the EY. So yeah, Blake J Dailey on Instagram. DM me if you got a question about boutique hotels, busting through your own glass ceilings, or just like, dude, I'm super stressed. Like, how'd you get through this thing? Like, happy to help out.
Oh, that's super awesome. Well, I'll link that stuff below in the show notes, and definitely reach out to Blake because I've been in awe of you since I met you. Because when
Thank
Adam
you.
said, yeah, just hop on the phone with Blake, like he's gonna help you. I still talk about. I cannot believe how many times you answered the fucking phone, man. Like I'm so impressed. Like I think when I almost bought this motel the first time, I went through 18 iterations. Blake gave me the spreadsheet and I did not know how to read this goddamn spreadsheet. Like this thing is fucking massive. It's beautiful and he knows how to
It's
run it.
organized
So
chaos.
there were so many times though that I needed just these little things and like little bits of like, I just needed an oomph and I feel like you provided it. So I really appreciate the
Yeah.
kind of human you are.
But yeah, that's what I'm here for. I mean, I think that's what makes a good tribe, is like people willing to help each other. And I think a lot of times, this is just like a little personal rant, but I think a lot of times people want to like, take. And
Mhm.
especially if you find somebody on Instagram, it's like, how can you help me? Like as the person you're
Mhm.
reaching out to. And I'm just
Yeah.
very much along the mindset that if you help people, if you give first, if you like think about how can I provide value to this person, to this situation, to this marketplace as a whole, like how can I be a valuable beacon of light, whatever. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too like high level, but like how can I help? Think that how can
Mhm.
I help? Good stuff happens, and you wind up with like good opportunities and doors open. If you're always just like thinking a greedy mindset of what's in it for me, like
Mhm.
I've seen those people fizzle out because it just, things dry up. People like, just creates like an aura of a reproach around that person.
Mhm.
And you can kind
Yeah.
of feel when you talk to them, it's like, I don't even care to like get to know that person. They're just in it for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you stay over there, other people will flock to that. It's like, it's not my thing, dude. I'd much rather like genuinely help somebody. So like when it's things like you like reaching out to help, I know because I've been in that spot of like, dude, I just need this one
Uh,
little piece, and then
yeah.
I'll go blaze a path of hell on my way to the next roadblock, right? Like
That's true.
I'll sprint towards that thing. Like I just need that one little piece, and I just think it's cool to kind of help get past those things.
No, that's awesome. Okay, and then the last thing I want you to plug because I'm going to be there too. I'm really, really excited to come and see you in the Smokies. So, can you tell everybody the cool thing that you're doing this fall?
Yeah, so hosting Boutique Hotel Con at my place
Yeah.
in the Smokies in September. So as of today, we are a month out. This is 1 month out
Whoa.
from being there. It's kind of it's getting real. Like we're getting all of our equipment purchases and stuff like that this week, and doing our bookings for our offsites for the mastermind group. Like when you get out there early, so starting to get really exciting. But yeah, the conference is September 13th through the 15th, all about boutique hotel investing. So like how to find deals, how to raise capital, how to structure them, how to find your partners, how to design them, like how to freaking make money with boutique hotels and really express your creativity through it. And it's hosted at my boutique hotel. So I thought that'd be such a cool thing.
What?
Like when I was buying this place, I was like, they don't use the venue. They have 10 acres. Like they have all these amenities and it's not being used. I just thought that was like a crime. I was like, this guy should get. I mean, I got to pay this guy for this. He should just be giving it to me, just to like give the potential to the world. So yeah, we're doing that and going through using the hotel as an example. We're going to do walkthroughs and really show how the stuff that we're learning in the conference setting really applies in real life, so that people can go do the stuff themselves. So I'm like very much about like how to give people the information that they need to go out and be dangerous and get their own deals, like, get through their own stuff. Cause I've gotten a lot of free content over time that I've made a lot of money with. So I'm trying to do the same for others. So if you want to check that out, you can go to boutiquehotelcon.com, come hang out with me and Tanya at the conference. And yeah.
Yeah, and are tickets reasonably priced, Blake?
They are. Yeah, I think they're like
Yeah.
$9.97, but it includes lodging and food and drinks for the whole weekend. So it's pretty much like an all-inclusive ticket. So it's basically just getting yourself there. So
I don't know if people listening, if you've ever been to a conference, especially in the short-term rental world and real estate, anything. I have never been to a conference that my lodging was also paid for. It was typically like, oh, you have to get there, you have to get yourself there, you have to buy the ticket,
and like
you have
your
to
whatever
buy all these extras.
$700, $800, $900 ticket turns into a $2,000 weekend.
Yeah,
and,
and it sounds like
you literally get here and we've got everything else covered.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I really did want to point that out because even when I saw it, I was like, "What? You're gonna give me a hotel room? This is fucking great."
And why we can do that is like I own the hotel and the venue, so it's like I don't need to like I'm not a venue person gouging. I'm like, dude, I just need to like cover costs on like the room rentals and stuff like that, and then we'll in the venue rental space, and then we just get to deliver value. So still planning on losing money on it, but I wanted to keep the prices low enough to keep people there, to get people there.
What a great idea. Like, somebody wants to learn how to run a hotel. How about you come to, Blake's hotel? Like literally, you guys, I've already been there. It's fantastic. Like, I can't wait to see the changes. And I hope some people come in
June, right?
Yeah. I hope some people come and join. Like, reach out to me. I'd love to get you in contact with Blake. I would love for you to come and hang out with me because I'm going to babble about motels the whole time. I'm so excited to meet people in real life. Like, it's always fun to gather a mastermind together. So thank you so much, Blake, for coming to hang with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have an awesome day. Bye.
Yeah, you too. See you guys.